Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to the final session of the day. I'll let you come in from the virtual waiting room. Okay, well, I'll get started. Thank you for joining us again today. I'm sure I've seen many of you already on many of the sessions already today. Today, this is our final session of the day. This is John Hillis from Unifrog, who's going to give a bit of an overview of Unifrog, the platform, and also its future developments. I'm sure it'll be a really useful and worthwhile session for you. I know it will be for me and the team as well. We'll be frantically writing down notes on how we're advising students in research universities. So the more we know what your students are using, the better. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to John, who will be going through his session.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks for inviting us again for this session. And so without further ado, I'm going to be covering basically what is Unifrog, what does it do, how does it work, give you an insight into maybe also where Unifrog came from, and what we're really about and what we're actually doing and have been doing during the pandemic as well, and so many things that we've been doing extra that we haven't really done before. So certainly things have evolved somewhat. So my name is John. I'm an area manager for Unifrog, have been since 2015. My area kind of covers, I guess, from Leeds down to Northamptonshire, but there are area managers dotted around the country. Everybody's working from home. We're about 50 people now working in Unifrog. Some of them I've never met because they came on board in the last year. And overall, Unifrog works with about 2,000 schools and colleges. And it's a growing number. That it's an incredible increase and take-up of using Unifrog during lockdown and the pandemic. Was incredible how students were using it at a distance with blended learning programs and distance learning, but of course how they're using it in schools. So for those who hadn't come across Unifrog before, it is very much a social enterprise. Really everything that happens in Unifrog, there's no big backing of a company or universities. Unifrog gets its funding from subscriptions that go straight back into developing it in line with its goals and its themes and its aims, that it wants to be a world-class tool that's used for careers. And it's certainly developed in the years that I've been here. So as I referred to in a previous session, Unifrog's mission very much shapes the kind of the route that we take when it comes to development. And with Alex and Coralie, who started Unifrog, it was clear why it was needed, that it was solving a problem that was there. So for example, one of the things that Alex Kelly noticed when he was working in a school was that students were typically making the same mistakes every year with their applications and with university and UCAS. For example, they weren't really broad enough with their choices, or they were selecting courses for UCAS that had all the same entry requirements and then not getting their grades. And so there were ways of looking at putting things together and bringing the data in an easy to process way for students to make it easier for them to see what was available and be more successful and smart in their applications. And it very clearly became that there was something that could be built on, that students, even way before they start talking about pathways or making applications, that they could be smarter in looking at the choices and the skills that they develop. And that's really how Unifrog grew. And today, it's really been shaped by the environment that we're in. And of course, it's linked with key areas that have kind of evolved as well and grown with our understanding. Gatsby benchmarks now are not confused with the Great Gatsby that I've experienced when I've been in schools and talking about Gatsby. They wonder what I'm talking about, but now it's becoming part of the language that we use regularly. So we put having a social impact before everything. We'll never stop trying to improve our service. If you've been with us any length of time, you'll know that we're constantly developing, keeping up to date and moving forward. We don't stand still. And we really value our customers' input and respond to them and work with them. We're currently getting in touch with a lot of schools at the moment and key people on academic and destinations data and how that's used and how we can improve on that aspect of Unifrog. So how we've developed the platform has really changed since I started. On the left, you can see what it looked like where we had two tools. We had a university and an apprenticeship tool. And now today we have these 4 key pillars and all these key tools that lead to improving on opportunities, pathways, management, applications, and so on. And it's interesting that one of the great things about these tools for finding apprenticeships and university haven't really changed, but we've just added value to them. So for example, there's the apprenticeship tool that we have is the biggest apprenticeship database you can find that has everything from National Apprenticeship Service updated every 24 hours, but also has higher and degree apprenticeships fed in there constantly, and all the courses at UCAS, but then all the other data that's available for kind of cross-checking these opportunities at apprenticeships or college or university or the other tools that we have. And it really, we've grown on that. You know, that's really developed. So they're quite a change over the years. Who do we work with? We used to be perceived as very much a sixth form tool, that Unifrog was about university. Well, it's not. Unifrog is universal. It's everything in one place. And there's very clearly that younger students from year 7 in a lot of our schools are using Unifrog. We work with a lot of 11 to 16 schools. We're working with a growing number that really exploded in the last couple of years of key stage 3 and 4 students, and having a clear route as to how the platform would be used and taken forward. Very high resubscription rate, which we're really proud of, which shows that although we may be perceived to be one of the few platforms that isn't free, that in fact the value of what's paid for in Unifrog is very much speaks for itself, and that there are so many levels it can be improved on as it becomes embedded in the school. Very high rate of, shall we say, positive or over 9 out of 10 customer support ratings, and we regularly do surveys and see what we're doing. So we're never complacent about what we do, but it's very much everything in one place. So Unifrog is certainly underpinned by 4 pillars that really shape the platform and shape really what it's about. That it can be used for exploring pathways and opportunities, that you can find expert information on how to reach a goal. How do you prepare for something that you're looking at before you even put your level 2 or level 3 options? And everything that a student does can be tracked. So it's easy to see if a student's favoured a particular career profile or subject profile, or updated various aspects of various tools, done the personality quiz or interest profiling. And that can then easily lead to the next conversation with the student. We're all the time looking at ways that we can improve the impact, aren't we? As careers leaders in are students really gaining from what they've seen? Have they understood it? Do they understand the next steps? Is it helping them? So this is really why the platform is shaped in the way it is, so that it helps to guide students through early on, so that key benchmarks as well can be delivered in terms of careers and labour market information benchmark. Benchmark 3 with addressing specific needs of students, and of course careers in the curriculum. So what's the point? Well, the point is that students in Unifrog, really, we want them to have access to everything that is available to them, and to look at maybe what is typically been the route through that they would maybe tread, but also to be aware that there are apprenticeships available, college and sixth form courses offering fantastic things available, but also what's outside our country. And although this is a kind of like a complete list of all the opportunity tools, students can easily look at post-16 or post-18 choices that are relevant for them and find more information about them. And that, you know, the opportunity of moving and studying somewhere else that they never dreamed, or that they've got relatives in another country and that opens up to them. There's no reason why these opportunities that are all taught in English and brought through in Unifrog will make it easier for them to be aspirational or see what's available, and also see it early on and understand what is needed to actually get into these great opportunities. There are so much information in Unifrog that helps them to really be strategic and plan things and understand them well, and really then, you know, then compare these opportunities side by side. And also other special opportunities are kind of highlighted as well, whether that be scholarships, bursaries, contextual offers, virtual work experience opportunities. All of these are now accessible through Unifrog, so it helps as well in finding something that will support your next step. Building applications and reflecting and logging and recording is really a key area of Unifrog. It's really important that students understand what skills are and how they develop their skills. And there are lots of ways of tracking and recording personal development skills, and, you know, then leading up to important conversations on picking the GCSE options or my level 3 options, logging and recording all the great things I've done and creating a record of achievement. And also it being possible for key advisors and staff to jump in and see, well, you have a big gap in your skills here on problem solving skills or communication skills. You really need to develop these skills that help you with your action plan to move forward. And the skills builder framework we really like. We've always had a skills tool, but the way that it helps to then have a clear next step for any skill and has the lesson plan that kind of supports that and makes it easy to then talk about skills really using methods like the STAR method. If you haven't heard of the STAR method, it's certainly worth looking up. But the way that you can really relate your skills to specific situations that you have really helps students prepare for making good applications and developing the life skills. So there's some really key tools that help students to log and record their journey, make great applications, whether that's CV writing, cover letter writing, personal statements, international applications, and also how staff can also, you know, write references for students or track students is really clear in Unifrog, and it's very easy to use. It really helps success and really saves a lot of time. There's a lot in Unifrog that supports management and tracking and measuring impact and, you know, drawing data or information that's needed to look at how a school is improving. One of the basic things is really recording intentions of students, which is very easy to draw down. A really easy tool in Unifrog that then downloads that data post-16 or post-18 intentions, that then helps to shape discussions with students, but then also how you look at, you know, what students have been doing, how you then, you know, see how you're shaping with your benchmarks, what areas you need to improve in, you know, what does the school need to do overall as it prepares for Ofsted, or it kind of analyzes or audits itself to keep moving forward. You know, can it use the data that's in Unifrog and cut it in various ways by, you know, pupil premium, EAL and SEND, or track certain groups and to see what they've been doing? How do you engage with parents and get them to engage? Is that something that you struggle with or you do well at? There's lots of ways of engaging with parents through Unifrog. They can have an account, but they can also be copied in to interactions information that you log and record as part of your statutory guidance to students. So it's very easy to manage this information. There's a lot more work that's going on as well in destination data, so that when they leave, Unifrog is almost building a ready-made alumni database and making it easier to log and record destination data and information. And remote guidance, it's been amazing to see how students have accessed Unifrog on any type of device and been doing easily tasks at home during the kind of the lockdown, but also how this has transferred back into the classroom now that we're mostly back. So really, there are some great tools that support this. Reporting, information, charts, characteristics. It's easy to add all this data to the students and then to look at a chart and to cut it by a year group or a targeted group of maybe UniConnect students, or a after school club or a pupil premium group, and then pull out data or information. Of course, so much of this usage data and charts that are in Unifrog will then help shape the kind of like the themes or the discussions or the right kind of events that you need to build in for groups of students. You might see a growing number of arts and media students or STEM group in different ways, in different groups, and you're able to then respond because you're seeing that interest grow. And that's how you develop a good careers program. You don't assume that it's always going to be the same as it was. And of course, every year group is different. So these charts and these ways of reporting and pulling data are really visual and easy to use. I've seen them used in governor meetings or SLT or Ofsted presentations, but they're great for just looking at, for a year leader or a tutor or anybody to see what's happening with different types of students. There's a lot that the platform does, but the platform is just a platform at the end of the day. There's a lot that we provide in addition to the platform, if you like, or the online version of this. We're quite, I think, unique in that we do so much besides you having a login for Unifrog. There's so much that we provide you in your school or college that helps. That can be with sitting down and looking at your plans and what you need to do. And, it might be that you need very much tailored support for putting together schemes of work, or you need training for key groups of staff. It can be that we offer that continuous training for you in person or virtually as it's been, but also that individual support. The community of people that are in Unifrog as well is growing. Our Facebook groups, our CPD and national conferences that we've had free of charge for people to attend. There's so many ways that we've been able to support and give the right kind of support to every school or college in a slightly different way. Everybody's different. Every year group can be different. So it can be that you need very much tailored support, and we never hold back on that. There's no hidden costs for any of that. It's all included in a subscription. One thing that's of course grown massively is the volume of lesson plans and resources that we've made in Unifrog, and also the expert webinars that we put on, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a moment. So the program or the platform and the program really helps you to really identify key goals. So for example, I've got schools coming on board now that I've been having goals discussions with, so that we're really matching up what their plan is and what their priorities are with how we help them and support them. So that'd be a discussion about what goals they have, what clear next steps they have, what things are happening within their program that need to kind of like, Unifrog needs to fit in with those things. And then how we actually, support them with the right kind of lesson plans. Does something need to be offline because no computers are available? Does it need to be short for tutor time, 10 or 15 minutes, or is it a whole day or week or activities that you're planning or lessons that overlap with the PSHE program? Is it things that link in with careers in the curriculum and how teachers can easily make the links between their subject and careers? How you can then review and also measure the impact of the sessions that you've ran in Unifrog and in your careers program, and what impact has that had on students? And does something else need to be brought in to make it work better, or is it working well? There's definitely this cycle that we have of regularly contacting people that we work, schools that we work with and colleges, to make sure that it's going the right way. We do have a really great community. We have, I think, 1,000 plus now careers leaders sharing best practice on our Facebook group. There's no doubt many schools come to us because they're hearing about other schools using it, and they're talking to their counterparts in other schools or colleges. And there's no doubt so many great things that have been shared on these groups that will help, whether it's a scheme of work, whether it's a resource that somebody's used. They've been really great to kind of connect people who are using the platform, but also we've put together CPD, where we've got people from the same area kind of join and talk to each other on what's relevant for them. And this is included as well as something that, having themed weeks. We had themed weeks in January on skills and enterprise. We have higher education themed weeks, or national careers guidance show kind of themed weeks, and so on, so that we're putting these things on regularly that then kind of like tie in nicely with the calendar of things that are happening throughout the year. Reporting and insights, my previous session that I covered today kind of highlighted the insight reports, that because we work with nearly a million students, it's really easy for us in a unique position to see the behavior and interests of students, and what kind of things are affecting them. Students from different backgrounds, the pandemic, skills, their aspirations, gender gaps. Our insight reports have a variety of these, and I'll show you in a moment where they are, but we've had some really great input from organizations, from experts, from people, from employers, from universities, from case studies, from careers leaders, and people like Sir John Holman. It's been great to get so many contribute to some of these insight reports that we've had. To summarize what Unifrog does is really kind of like highlighted here, what it does for the student. I think the key thing for me, for students, is how it really helps them to see what's available, to reflect, and then to see clear next steps of what they need to do and how they can, go further than what just is in the classroom. The super curricular, the wider reading, the extra mile steps that they can take. And for leaders, having that control, having that clear thread right the way through, that golden thread that links everything together, everything being in one place, all the resources that are needed, streamlining that, and having the schemes of work and lesson plans that are necessary. And then for a school overall to bring it and help it to use their school improvement programs, and how they can actually track and look at the data and information and have that consistency and centralized approach. So I've got some breaking news. It's really exciting that clearing opportunities can now actually be found through Unifrog. This is a brand new thing that we will be launching within a month or so. And you probably, hopefully you've not heard it before, so you hear it here first, that this is how it will work. From 5th of July, for those who subscribe to Unifrog, there'll be a new tool that will appear for year 13 students, and it will be free of charge. It won't be added an extra cost. It will just automatically come on for any school that uses Unifrog, and it will appear as if by magic. And it will be great because it will bring through every single clearing opportunity. But because the university tool in Unifrog is so good, it will kind of like add value to that kind of process. Where a student who've previously been shortlisting courses through the Uni tool in Unifrog, well, then these courses will like come through to the clearing tool, so they're able to pull through the information, but of course update their grades and kind of like mark courses as favorites, and bring that information through so they can actually find quite quickly the types of courses that are available to them, and it's kept up to date. So of course things will change as things drop off. They can then narrow down the information, and so that they can really look at the right kind of course, not get into a panic and think, oh, I've got to apply for this quick, but be really smart about the choices that they apply for, and still cross-check courses by, the data, the hours of lectures, whether it's a sandwich course, whether it's within, certain area of where I live, or that it's still within my range. So it helps them to be really smart about the choices that they make. They will then get kind of like all the key information, including clearing hotline numbers, the clearing page, the course page, the data and information that's available for these. So I'm just going to come away from here for a second and just log on to the platform just to show you one or two other interesting things that I think will be useful for you to know. Hopefully, Dan, you can see the Unifrog page. Hopefully, now I come off my PowerPoint, you can see the Unifrog login page. That's ideally.
Yep, all good.
Yeah, excellent. So something for free for everybody. If you're not aware already, if you go onto our website and you click on the Insights tab, you will see that there are loads of great webinars that we regularly put on here free of charge for anybody to access. So if you haven't already encouraged your students to look at our webinars or sign up for them, or even some of the teacher webinars that we have coming up, we really recommend you have a look. These are all completely free. And within about a 5-day turnaround, the recording of the webinar will go on the platform, so you can still access it. So we have several coming up with the University of Law, subject exploration, applying for medicine for UK international students or personal statement writing. We have various master classes coming up. We also have, where is it, the one I was looking for? Well, there's a lot more than there was before. Here we go, managing applications for UK students, UK teachers. You'll notice that it tells you which kind of groups this is applicable for and what times of day these are relevant for. So we tend to run them at the end of the day, if you can attend them or not. And we're going to have a series of results day webinars for students, which will include navigating, clearing, looking at your options, preparing for university. We get some great speakers, experts for these. You can see we've had subject discovery webinars. We've had them on skills. We've put employers in front of students. They get there, if they take part live, they can get their questions answered. Their video or sound doesn't appear. They literally just view the webinar like you're doing today. So there's no issues there. It's very easy for them to take part at any point. But there's some fantastic webinars for you to get involved in there that we think will be perfect for the summer coming up. I just wanted to log in for a second and show you one or two key features. When I log in as a teacher, I have a complete resource library full of hundreds of ready-made lesson plans that cover all kinds of things, whether it's talking about pathways or work experience, tests or interviews, exploring careers. PSHE topics is something that really supports the whole sex and relationship guidelines for all year groups, whether you're year 7s through to 6th form or year 1 and 2 in 6th form or college as it might be, but also by competencies and skills, even cut by benchmarks. So if you wanted to find lesson plans that help with benchmark 4, there are loads of lesson plans here that you can easily use. All lesson plans are also in PowerPoints or PDFs, so it's very easy to use them and share them. And one of the great things about the lesson plans and resource library is that every single lesson plan will have an offline version. We'll also have a short or longer version as well. So it will be easy to pull something out of here, put it into your scheme of work, and it will just make it really easy to complement what you already do. Not all these lesson plans are about using Unifrog. They're covering themes and topics that are just in addition to using Unifrog tools. There's even a blended learning year plan that you can download. This is kind of like a suggested scheme of work that can be used. And it also has helped during the last year with kind of like the blended learning approach, that you can find a tab for any year group and find the relevant kind of like lesson plans. You can either do face-to-face, or if they're in bubbles or working from home, you can do it remotely. So there's always that option to do it face-to-face or remotely, online or offline. We've mapped everything against Gatsby. We've even mapped it against the new CDI framework. So there's a lot of support there to make sure that the kind of lesson plans and schemes of work will help you to develop things. And I think as well, just finally, some of the charts that I kind of alluded to in my slides really are great because they show the impact or the usage by students, so that any chart can be cut by year groups, by characteristic groups, and you can really see some interesting information that you can then use as you kind of develop your careers program. And there are, of course, lots of lesson plans and things that support the kind of like topics that you're covering. So hopefully there's something on Unifrog there for everybody. It really is working in a really effective way across so many schools. You have my details here, my name, my email address, and my phone number. I've covered a lot, really. I've covered really who we are and what we do, what was our mission, how we work with schools, how we really look at the impact of what we do. And of course, I'm very happy to answer any questions now, or if you want to get in touch another time to have more of a demonstration or discussion, welcome you to do that. So Dan, have there been any questions during my ramblings?
No questions so far, but thanks so much, John. That was a really, really useful session. Very exciting about your clearing developments as well for this year. Another great way of helping students, which sounds great.
Yeah, and there's going to be some great support for that as well, like webinars, case studies, students or experts talking about it. We've already had some great contributions for that. So yeah, it's quite an exciting development, and there'll be more, no doubt, with other tools that we're developing. So yeah, we don't like to stand still. There's always something new, and usually it catches me by surprise. I'll be doing a presentation or a webinar or a CPD, and something new pops up that I wasn't prepared for sometimes. So yeah, it does tend to move pretty fast.
We've definitely made the most of some of your webinars as well, and we've had a really great experience of working with Unifrog in recent weeks and months. So we definitely recommend all of everything that you have to offer, because it is such a great way of helping students.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's great to collaborate with yourselves and so many now. I mean, that's something that we really prioritize, that we do more of, and there's the more exciting things happen on those kind of collaborations, and bringing employers to students in a virtual format, and videos and webinars, and of course universities and speakers. So yeah, we're really grateful for that kind of those kind of links that we've got with you guys.
Well, I'll make sure that the link to this session will be online. It will be uploaded as fast as my internet can handle. So it will be online for if you want to share with any of your colleagues whatsoever about John's session, either this one or John's session earlier on as well. But thank you for joining us, and a huge thanks to John for representing Unifrog today at our conference. We've been really grateful that you've been able to appear.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks all. See you soon. Bye-bye.